Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. Welcome to the second session of this brief story of everything. It's a 8 to 9 sessions we have planned to start from the beginning of origin of everything. That is the Big Bang, and then till the current times. In some 9 sessions, which goes through the scientific and social development steps, major steps that humans took to arrive at this current social setup. So we had one session already. Just to recap, so we talked about last Saturday at 6:30 same time. We had a discussion in using we started with Big Bang. That is when the time and space originated. Before that, what was there? We don't know. Big Bang is something that we say that our scientists predict that it happened some 14 billion years ago. There was a big blast of huge set of material. Whatever that solar system universe that we see now, it was all together a very small size of an electron. It blasted because it's a heavy density and it blasted. And that's when space and time started. And then it was very hot and a lot of gas, various subatomic particles and all got cooked up at that time. And then it continuously started expanding. And some of these gases, especially hydrogen gases, because of its mass, brought together because of the gravitational system and formed a nice gravitational system called solar system. And then the solar system is formed around 5 billion years ago. Within few very short span of time, that is in 4.3 billion years before, we got Earth. Earth is nothing but again lot of collective particles and various other debris of the Big Bang. It came together and got attracted and the Earth got formed. And then Earth with this solar system, it is continuously going on and on and on. There are two forces we also discussed about how the Earth keeps rotating the solar system. There are two forces operating there. One is that since it is formed, while forming itself, it's a circular path. Earth is always trying to go in a straight line. That means it is trying to go away from the solar system. But at the same time, the gravitational pull that the sun exerts on other things, it's bringing it back. So these two forces are balancing out. That's why it keeps rotating in a circular or elliptical, to be exact. So that it keeps rotating like that. And then, of course, we have other planets as well. In the solar system, we have only 4 planets where we can actually land. They are terrestrial. That is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. All other rest of the planets are big gas giants and are ice giants. They where we cannot even land. Among these 3 planets also, Mercury and Venus, we can't even land because it's very hot, closer to sun, I would say. And then we have Earth is the only place where we can stay and land. And Mars, we still do not know whether life can exist there. So that is an ongoing research. And then, of course, when in solar system, we have sun, keep giving us energy. When it keeps giving us energy, that means it is something is burning or some fuel has to be spent to give us that energy, right? That fuel is there in solar system is hydrogen. Hydrogen atoms combine together to form helium atom. This is a nuclear process called fusion. We will talk about those things later if people are interested, of course. So that in that process, a lot of energy gets released. So that energy is coming as light and heat to Earth and other planets. So that goes on and on and on and on. So, but now, what will happen if that helium burns out, right? What will happen if that helium burns out? Of course, if the helium burns out, the amount of helium that's there, sorry, hydrogen burns out. Sorry, what if that hydrogen burns out? The amount of hydrogen that is huge. So when there's a lot of heavy objects, gravity will take over, right? So currently, it is continuously bursting and gravity is pulling it back. So sun is like in a balanced state. Two forces always operate. Now, when the sun spends all the hydrogen, it forms something called the possibility. There are multiple paths of a star, but one possibility path is a black hole. That is, when the sun or any star burns out its fuel, gravity will take over and it may collapse into its own center, and that becomes a as it collapses, it attracts more and more objects, and it becomes denser and denser. And when it becomes denser, it will keep attracting more and more objects, and then it becomes more and more gravitationally very high, meaning even light cannot pass nearby; it will get attracted. That is why it is called black hole. So it's very difficult to see it, right? So that is how this is all we talked about in the universe formation, and we all know that there are multiple galaxies and they are all expanding. They are flying away from us continuously. We also talked about if it keeps flying away from us, how long will it keep flying away? Will there be a gravitational pull that will take over after some time? If that gravitational pull takes over, will it all come closer? And will it form again a closer and closer, and will it again form a very, very closed a small object with a lot of matter in it, and will it have a Big Bang again? So that the scientists call it cyclic universe. That is it. Big Bang, expand, contrast, contract, and then again expand, contract. That kind of thing is going on. That's one theory. Of course, these are all speculations. Or we don't know, it will keep on expanding and it will keep expanding, we don't know. So all these things are science is still doing a lot of research on that. And then we talked about how life evolved. Life in the earth, only we have seen so far, only it's there in the earth. Is it formed in the earth, or has it come from the space? That's one debate is also there, because all hydrocarbons, which is the fundamental material of organic objects, or the objects that we call as life, that is there in the earth space also. So, and we keep getting lot of spores. Spores meaning organic molecules. We still get from this space various organic molecules coming. Probably Earth was just in a conducive state to get the life and start. Or probably Earth itself had these organic molecules, which through some chemical reactions, it formed as a self-replicating molecule, and then life got started. So if you see, in 1952 there was a experiment done by two American scientists, Stanley Miller. They put together ammonia gas, oxygen, hydrogen, and all into this one flask. Put water in it, seawater, which is another place we debate whether life originated there or something like that, or a kind of water body we need. So they put the water there, and then they pass electric current, where in the nature it could have been lightning, right? So that kind of experiments they did, and then they found that ammonia ammonia acid, which is the fundamental basic block of proteins that gets formed, right? Life is about self-replicating molecules. That's a major difference between non-life and an object with life. So that self-replicating molecules got formed, and then it kept replicating, and then it continuously evolved, which we will talk about how it evolved and all in the evolution theory later in some session. But let us now take that it evolved, and then it formed as a better and better or more complex organisms, and we are at a very, very, very later stage. We have become humans, and we are there here now discussing all about it. Okay, so that is a brief summary of what we did in last class. Any question on that? And I have some feedback, like last class, it was for some people it would have been technically very simple, because a lot of this Big Bang theory and all comes in the 10th and 12th standard physics. But for some people said that a lot of technical terms are used, it was little difficult. So my suggestion to the team is, we have taken this 1.5 hours, right? This 1.5 hours is for the discussions. If you are not understanding, if you want to have some questions, you may stop there itself and ask, and then we can proceed. So it is very important that we all work together. Otherwise, you will miss out, or I will miss out some really, really good fundamental questions. I may miss out. All these things are possible. So it's better to ask and get it clarified. So, but for those from those who attended last session, do we want to change any mode or any mode of presentation, or should we make it a little more lighter? All these questions are there. So, anybody has any comment on last session?
No comments from my side.
Okay. Shall we proceed then? Okay. Let us get started for today's session. So this is session 2. Welcome to session 2. As I saw, we ended up the last session with life getting formed, and let us have a quick jump. Let's say that life got formed and humans are there. Okay, so now how these humans have evolved, and how they took this top position in the earth, and top in that food chain, and all this, completely capturing nature. That word is not right, but still, at least we have an illusion that we have captured the nature. So, but how these things could have evolved, but before that, what happened before such a scientifically advanced species evolves? So that is about this session. So in last session also, when we discussed that the Big Bang theory, we talked about there's something called expanding universe, right? How do they find out? We discussed like there's something called when an object goes out, all objects emits light, of course. I mean, especially the stars and other galaxies, they have a lot of light they emit. When we see the light, and then it's a shift, there's something called Doppler effect, which has a shift in the wavelength. Don't worry about that right now. We will see little later. But there is a way to find out that some object is going away or not based on the waves emitted by the object. Either it may be sound wave or it may be light wave, whatever wave it emits. If that object, if it moves away or comes closer, there is a change in wavelength. That's called, that observation was done by a scientist called Doppler, and they named it as Doppler effect. With that, we can know that whether that object is moving away from us and coming closer. That is how they found out that the universe is expanding. Similarly, now we have been talking about, okay, this species was this many years before it was existing. It was existing um, some 5 billion years or 6 million years ago, 70 million years ago, right? How do they tell it? So before going to the actual session, I want to have one quick, this is again little scientific terms will be there, but I have tried to explain it through some pictures. So basically, there is something called carbon dating. So each material, each carbonic organic compounds that is there in our body, suddenly it shifts to this screen. I don't know. Okay. You are all able to see my presentation, right? Carbon dating.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So carbon dating. So suddenly, sorry, any organic compound has hydrogen compound, hydrocarbons especially. We are all hydrocarbon, lot of hydrocarbons in it. And carbon is there always. We exchange carbon um, from the environment, exchange carbons from the environment, right? Now, now there are something called radioactive material. Lot of materials we know, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, aluminum, all these things we have. There is something called radioactive material. What is radioactive material? A radioactive material will keep on losing its atomic weight. Okay, this material will still be the same material, but it will be keep emitting particles. It will keep emitting, or it will keep emitting particles. As part of this emission, it will reduce its size, reduce the amount it is there. For example, if we have some 1 kg of a radioactive material today, don't do anything, shut it down in some container, don't do anything. After some time, it would have reduced itself because it keeps giving out its atomic particles and it keeps reducing. Okay. So when it keeps reducing, we all know, scientists have found out that there is something called half-life period. Okay. Half-life period. One minute. Give me a second. Okay. So half-life period, right? So when we say half-life period, it means that the material gets reduced by its half in some years. That is called half-life period. So in carbon, we have two types of carbon. One is carbon 14, another is carbon 12. Carbon 14 is a twins of carbon. You can think of it as a twin because the chemical reaction is same for both elements. That's why it's same element, carbon, but its nuclear number is different. One is having 14 in number. Don't worry about what is nuclear number and all. That will be little deeper. But just to understand and appreciate how they are doing the carbon dating, think of it like two types of carbons. Carbon 14, carbon 12, they are twins. And this carbon 14 gets formed when cosmic rays coming from atmosphere. And when it hits the atmosphere, there are some chemical reactions here when it enters the atmosphere and carbon 14 gets formed. This carbon 14 gets, when it crosses the atmosphere, it comes inside the Earth's atmosphere, it mixes with oxygen. As we all know, carbon and oxygen form carbon dioxide. We know carbon dioxide of C12O2. That is our regular carbon dioxide that we have. But we also have C14O2. This is also carbon dioxide. So plants consume this carbon dioxide and it gives to animals also. Plants has this, animals has this. So plants get both this one and this one. Okay. Carbon 14 carbon dioxide, carbon 12 carbon dioxide. So it keeps absorbing and giving it back, or whatever that interaction is going on. It has this carbon dioxide, C14 and C12, with both type of carbon dioxide. When a plant dies or that animal dies, this exchange of carbon 14 and carbon 12 carbon dioxide to the environment stops when dead. Okay. Stops when dead. Now, when the archaeologists find out this carbon dioxide, sorry, a plant or a bone of a human or bone of animal, they take it, they analyze this carbon, both of this and this. This is not radioactive. If there is 10 milligram of carbon dioxide when a plant dies, after some 5,000 years also, it is 10 milligram of carbon dioxide. But this one, when it is 10 milligram of carbon dioxide, when the plant dies, after 5,000 years, the half-life period of carbon 14, after 5,000 years, 5,700 years, this C14 would have become half. Okay. So this C12 is still 10 milligrams. C14 has become half. That is 5 milligram after 5,000 years. They take this both C14 and C12, compare it and see, oh, okay, this 10 milligram is there of C14. Sorry, C12. Okay, and this is C14, 5 mg. That means this material was alive before 5,700 years. Is that clear? That is how they establish. It's very, very reasonably, I mean, of course, everything is approximate, but reasonably accurate. we can say that, okay, hundreds or 200 or at least 5,000 years approximate we can do. When it compares to millions of years, this 5,000 years approximation is okay. Any question? Okay. So with this carbon dating, using this carbon dating, archaeological departments everywhere in the world, when they dig various places, they find this skeletal, whatever that form of dead animals, humans and all. They see it and then they experiment and they take the carbon samples and analyze and bring up the year. Okay. So like that, they study a lot of human skulls across the earth, various places of earth. That is how they started talking about humans. So human skull. So assume that, so we said that big jump, lot of evolution has happened from the Earth's formation till this 50 million years here, right? So there's something called fossil lemur. Lemur is some kind of primate. Primate, all kind of monkeys, we call it primate. This primate was existing around 50 million years ago. Okay. And then this Egyptopithecus, there is another, they name it, don't worry about these names and all, but there is this skull, if you see, this type of skull started appearing 30 million years ago. And you would have seen this earliest lady skeleton they have found. They have named it as Lucy. They call it yearly Australopithecus. It belongs to this species and it is found in Ethiopia. It lived around 3.2 million years before. So yeah, see, this keeps evolving and it has become Australopithecus africana because it's mostly found in Africa and discovered in 1974. So this skeleton they assemble is Lucy, the earliest mother probably for humans. So it is a step-by-step process, as you see. I mean, if there are multiple stages in between this, 50 million years ago, then 30 million years ago, this is the skull type. And then 3 million years ago, this is the skull type. And we have evidence that this kind of human skeleton we have got. Okay. So from that itself, from Australopithecus africanus itself, almost erect, but around 2 million years ago, we have Homo erectus. Homo erectus is all species that walk straight up, including this chimpanzee, apes, and all different types of apes. Everything we say it as Homo erectus, completely erect and straight up. So, what could have triggered this erection? These are all natural selection, which we will anyway talk about it. But just give you one quick understanding or a possible step is to think of it like say the grasses in African forest and all is huge, right? It is not just our grass like 2-inch, 3-inch. It is 5 feet, 6 feet grasses usually be there normal. And to find out whether any predators are coming, they probably started straight up and look. and see whether to see whether predator is coming, they would have straightened up their back and become erect, and that probably saved them. And they probably able to see and run, right? So then they know that, okay, if you erect, you'll be able to predict or see the predator and you can escape. So that is a important survival strategy, right? So they took it and everybody started following, and then it becomes erected, and that species took that as a turn in evolution and become Homo erectus. Homo erectus still was Homo erectus 2 million years ago, but 1 million years ago, it has become Homo sapiens. This, if you see this skull, it has become Homo sapiens. Okay. So that is how we would have traveled to arrive at only this physical appearance, right? Our own, this body appearance. So Homo erectus may be the forefather of Neanderthals. What is Neanderthal? We will see. So there are multiple Homo erectus, right? There are two important things, two important Homo erectus, which may be cousin of human Homo sapiens or Neanderthals. And there is another called Denisovan. I have not captured the name here. There is one more important Homo erectus, which was shown by archaeological evidence. Okay, so they both were probably lived with the humans side by side for some time. Questions
Hello?
so far?
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Oh, how this photography was taken? That color photography.
It is not
said.
photography, it is
Okay.
some image. Yeah. Morphed image.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, it looks very realistic actually.
It's a morphed image. I took it from the net. These are Neanderthals. This is how Neanderthals would have looked like. There's a construction.
Okay. Is it
Construction.
AI or AI or it's already made by
No,
someone?
it is before AI itself. Based on the
Okay.
skeleton and all, they have constructed this and took a photo.
Okay, okay. Nice,
Yeah.
nice actually. It's really nice.
Yeah. So I graciously taken it all from net. So I have to find out and give credits in this presentation. I will do that. So it's a photography of Neanderthal. Based on the skull and all, they would have constructed it. Okay. Question so far, is it still difficult to follow like previous session? Please let me know. I am assuming you're all with me.
I think Shivaram has one question.
Go ahead, please.
Let me read it. I think he's on mute. Let me read it.
Okay.
C14 is asking question regarding carbon 14 half-life. He is saying if half-life is 5,700 years, like you said, like you mentioned, so what will happen after double the time of it, twice the time? He is asking.
If there is 1 kg, after 5,700 years, it become half kg, right? That is 500 grams.
Yes.
After another 5,700 years, it will give them 250 grams, right?
Okay.
After another, in this only it will keep half.
Okay. I think your question is answered, Shivaram. Yeah, it is done. It is done. Thank you.
Yeah. Good that this question is nice. So yes, very obvious question, right? After 10,000 years, it will be gone, right? How are you calculating this, right? So yes, it is not fully gone. It continuously reduces half to the existing amount. Okay. So only half of this one, it keeps on going. So even if it is millions of years, you will remain very minute at least. At least minute.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So it will definitely take infinite loop, no? Infinite time to
Exactly.
completely decay.
Yeah, exactly. At least you can find micrograms.
At least something or the other will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems to be very reliable. That's how they are dating the organisms. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So, and as we see, we just saw humans evolved in Africa, but then how do we see these humans everywhere? Because all other species, we don't see it everywhere, right? Lion, for example, lion is only in Africa, right? But tigers, not in Africa. Like that, we can keep telling. There is no elephants in America, right now, at least. So like that it gives, but humans are there everywhere. Everywhere. Right? How is that possible? So what they see is archaeological evidence shows that they started migrating during the Lucy period or immediately after Lucy
Yeah,
period.
migration is one important thing.
Correct.
Like you said,
Yeah,
that's the basic step.
correct.
We do keep on migrating for something or the other in search of something.
Including today, right?
Yeah.
Even we so they
With
would
so
have
much technology, so many things,
correct.
we keep
Yeah,
searching for something. Now, migration is more, it can be done more easily compared to very long years ago.
correct. So before 2 million years itself, during the Lucy period itself, probably Homo erectus started migrating, right? Followed by other archaic animals, archaic humans. That means Neanderthals included. Archaic meaning all other Homo erectus except Homo sapiens. So they also followed, including Neanderthals. Okay. Now Neanderthal lived 4,000 years ago. Sorry, 40,000 years ago. Where are Neanderthals? They are not there anymore. There may be multiple reasons for their not existence. One is they may be interbreeding with the humans. How did that happen? We will talk about it. Because humans started migrating little later. When humans entered Europe, they met Neanderthal. Humans meet Neanderthal in Europe. Probably they breeded with the humans.
Humans, you mean like us? Means
Homo sapien. Yes.
Homo sapien. Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Our version of Homo sapien. Old. I mean, we
Correct.
originated from them, right? Homo sapien.
We are Homo sapiens.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Biologically, we are Homo sapiens now.
Okay.
So, I should have put Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens met Neanderthals. Probably when the Homo sapiens entered Europe, they already were there in the Europe. They met and then they were inbreeding with the humans. Okay, inbreeding meaning they mix and produce the offsprings with the humans. So that probably got assimilated with the humans. That means Neanderthal genes are there among us. Okay. Or they would have gone because of diseases or inbreeding. Inbreeding meaning they breed. Inbreeding is you have sex with your own parents. Right? That's called inbreeding. That kind of thing is there normal in animals. Animals do not split or they do not segregate the sex. So inbreeding is one thing could have made them go extinct. So this could have been reasons for extinction of Neanderthals, but definitely we have met them some time back in Europe and they mixed and they become they probably got assimilated. In us. So as you know, wherever we go, we destroy the locals and we take over, right? It happened probably even some millions of years ago also. So before 40,000 years, Neanderthals were living from more than 2 million years before. But after this period, that is after this period, after 40,000 years from this time, they extinct. So human migration continues. This is a map, it may help us. So if you see here, the size of this picture or some numbers may be difficult, I will read for you. 2000 years, this is red, this Homo sapiens. Yellow is, light yellow is Homo erectus. This yellow is Homo neanderthal. Okay, this is Homo neanderthal. So how they migrated? See, if you see,
It all started from Africa, basically, right?
of course, Ethiopia.
Okay. Ethiopia.
Current Ethiopia, somewhere here.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So from there, see this Homo erectus has gone here, has gone here, has gone here. Right? And then by then, we don't know how, when they have migrated, but then Homo sapiens started migrating around 200 or 2 lakhs years before. 2 lakhs years before, they go here, migrate everywhere, and then around 1 lakh year, they migrate on an Arabian Peninsula, and around 40,000 years before they enter Europe. That is when they met Neanderthal here. And that Neanderthal got extinct after meeting humans probably. That is almost another theory based on the archaeological evidence. And humans continued to walk. And then they went into these various directions. They went to India and keep walking to Asia. And they migrated here to before 25,000 years, they went here. And then they went these places. Australia 50,000 years before and 30,000 years before, this other islands. And if you see, there was a big break before going to America. And if you see this place, very small, right? During the Ice Age, when lot of sea freezes, during Ice Age, lot of sea freezes, and probably this part frozen. Actually, from here to here, it is only 24 kilometers sea. So they would have walked on top of the ice and would have reached America around 15,000 years. And they migrated till the south and north and spread across all areas in the earth. So that is how they would have migrated, is based on the skull, bones, human, other items that are available by digging the land. They found out this kind of migration pattern. Okay. Question?
A map, actually, this map is really nice, actually. Like, so many
Yeah.
years ago, it's like it very realistic.
Yeah.
Would connect now, like it has happened this way. I don't
Yeah.
know how you took effort to find out this map or something, but it really
No, it is
good.
there. It is there in Wikipedia. If you just type human migration in
I thought these arrow marks were made by you. I was
no,
thinking that way.
a
Okay.
lot of things are there already.
Okay.
All these things are there. In fact, I took it from Wikipedia because we can always go back. There are a lot of other sources.
Yeah, we have so many things in this Wikipedia and so many things, but finding out the something like this is really good, actually.
Yeah, thank you. So I took that what kind of steps we want to take. Based on that, I started searching and got these things. So human migration happened like this. So what would have made them to migrate, right? So usually all animals are, including humans, they are lazy in nature, right? If you read that books, Homo sapiens, Sapiens by this Noah Harari, recently famous book, he talks about we are doing a lot of work compared to hunters and gatherers, right? We are doing a lot of work compared to hunters and gatherers. The reason is when we were hunters and gatherers, hunters meaning no civilization, no agriculture, we were still migrating like this, like 200,000 years before, right? We were hunting, we were just eating whatever is available, fruits, vegetables, whatever is available, we were eating, right? If you see a hunters and gatherer, all they worry about is food. Once you get the food, rest of the time is for you, right? For family. Maybe they would have worked some 10 hours a week, right? That's what he claims. Noah Harari claims that they worked very less. Because once you hunt one big beast, it may give you 2-3 days of food. And you don't have to worry about it again, and you can keep sleeping, doing whatever you want to do. But with all the technology that we have, we are working minimum 40 hours, right? So that is how.
10 hours they work for their food, for food.
Yeah, they have 10 hours just for hunting and gathering.
And for their fulfillment of food.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
After that, what do they have?
That was a free life. They
Correct.
just go and hunt and
Exactly.
have. Yeah.
Correct. Like an animal,
Uh,
right? So
yeah.
this hunting and gathering was the main activity or basic economy of this time before 40,000 years, let's say. So they have to hunt to survive, right? There is no doubt about that. They moved to places wherever they can hunt. Now, what could have triggered the migration? They have to hunt. If there is no animal, they have to move. If a cattle moves, if some set of deers move or buffaloes move, humans have to follow, right? So they keep following these preys. So that's how they would have, in search of food, they would have migrated to various places. And of course, there are other patterns like climate conditions. At some point, this place would have become unlivable. Then you have to migrate. But main drive could be the prey that migrates and the space for hunting. You need space for hunting. So that triggered human migration. Is a theoretical derivation. Moving on. So they kept migrating like this until the last ice age. Okay. What is an ice age? Very layman. I'm not going to geography here or earth sciences. In a layman term, ice age is most of the part of the sea will be covered with ice. Temperature of the climate will drop a lot. Most of the part of the sea will be covered with ice. That's when probably they would have walked on top of the ice and went to America. Around 11,000 BC, till before 11,000 BC, there was one ice age, end of the last ice age. So all people on continent were still hunters and gatherers. In all different continents, they were still hunting for their survival. This is again an image I took from some internet. It's again a picture drawn by some artist.
Wait, this was during Ice Age, right? You are saying, okay.
Earth has seen several ice ages.
Okay. Got it.
I
Okay.
think at least our archaeological evidence suggests that at least 5 ice ages.
Okay. My next question: dinosaur evolved in. I mean, what
Hold
was
on.
that age?
We will come that. Five
Okay,
ice
later only.
ages.
Later
Yeah,
only. Okay.
yeah. 5 ice ages human would have seen.
Okay, we have seen all this, right? Yeah. Okay.
That is, we said 1 million years Homo sapiens have come. In previous slides, we have seen 1 million years before Homo sapiens have arrived. After that itself, we would have seen 5 ice ages. Okay. So during that ice ages, they would have migrated on top of sea because sea is becoming ice. So if you see this screen, they would have gone here. Probably it is all ice. They walked, and went these different places. We don't know all these details exactly, but that is one logical conclusion we can arrive because of ice age we have seen. Okay, so but latest ice age completed around 11,000 BC. That is when humans slowly started thinking about food production. So around 11,000 BC, they started what to say? Uh, there is a crisis, right? A crisis of finding land for hunting, right? If you see, if you want to hunt, you need lot of space. It is not easy to hunt a deer or something. You have to run a lot, chasing around. All these things are needed. So you need lot of space, right? As the population grows,
Okay.
because
Just one question.
yeah,
During hunting, fire was formed at which time? Like fire. They needed fire, right?
fire was formed during Lucy period itself.
Ah, right, right. Okay. Got
During
it.
Lucy period itself, that is 1 million, 2 million years ago itself, fire was found. They know how
Found.
to
Okay.
hunt it. Whatever they
Okay.
hunt, they could put it in fire and
Ah, they need that. Yeah,
cook.
yeah, yeah.
Cook. Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were in ice age also, no?
Uh,
Ah,
yeah,
obviously you need that. Without that,
yes,
we can't.
yeah. So the crisis of finding land for hunting is one major triggering point to think about what are the alternatives, right? So that is probably a triggering point to take it to the next major step. What is the next major step? Domestication. Okay. So when you see, you need, say you hunt an animal, you can eat today.
சார் டொமெஸ்டிகேஷன்னாக்கா இந்த குடும்ப அமைப்பு அந்த மாதிரி தானே சார்?
Kudumba, the question is domestication is family related? No, not yet. அப்படி இல்லப்பா. We are still talking about how a certain species like dog, sheep, ஆடு மாடு இதெல்லாம் எப்படி நம்ம கொண்டு போறோம். ஐ மீன் அதை வந்து எப்படி பழக்கப்படுத்தி நம்ம கூட வச்சுக்கிறோம். தட் இஸ் ஹவு வி ட்ரெயின் தி ஷீப், pig and all to be with us. That's a domestication, first step of domestication. And remember, when we say domestication, it is not only animals, plants domestication also. We domesticated wheat, rice, all these things around these time frames. Dog is the earliest domesticated animal. And then we have sheep, goat, cow, horse, various other animals. Similarly, wheat, rice, sugarcane, corn, potato, and a lot of plants also domesticated. In that process, humans also get domesticated. Okay. கேள்வி கேட்டது யாருப்பா? பேர் என்ன?
சார் பிரியதர்ஷினி.
Hey, Priyadarshini. Family வந்து later வருது. Even during this time, family existed, Priyadarshini, but the family was in a not like what we know now. We will talk about the origin and evolution of family also little later. But the family that was there at that time was just, we call it as a band, kutam or kutam. So they live like a band. Some few males, females, like animals now, they have a one head kind of thing, one alpha male, and or group of females and offsprings. All this together, they live like animal hunting, eating, living in place. If you don't find animals, you migrate. If you hunt there, if you don't find animals, migrate, hunt there, migrate, hunt there. It keeps going like that. That's why they migrated. Right? Now, with some
Actually,
animals.
there's one interesting game.
Hmm.
Maybe not sure your generation would know. Age of Empire used to be there.
Okay.
This thing, it was actually like this. They hunt for their own food. They cut trees and they build houses and they do farming and they also domesticate. Sheep will be the mostly likely animal in that game. I don't know. They have always sheep in that game. I can connect this with that actually.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Maybe for youngsters, I'm saying that the Age of Empire would be a good connect to this.
Oh,
For
okay.
domestication, farming, all these things.
Yeah. So, yeah. So when we say domesticate, we domesticated both animals and plants. That means farming and animal domestication is very, very tightly connected phenomena. Okay. You can't separate it and understand. You have to understand it together. That's always plants domestication, animal domestication. That animal domestication includes humans too. We also, instead of wandering here and there, we started slowly sitting in one place, started producing food. So that is a major step in this process. How does this happen? How did this happen? Right? First farming could have been this Latin, right? Generally, when you go hunting, women sometimes stay back because of various reasons, because of menstruation cycle, all these things. Usually, women, men, both are hunting, both were hunting. All economical process, there was no separation. Like lioness hunts, lion hunts. Most of the time, lioness hunts. So like that, humans also were hunters. Both male and female were hunting. But during some period, women used to stay home because of kids there. When you go to hunting with the kid, if you see any animal, when you hunt, let's say a leopard is hunting a deer, it will try to find the weakest deer in that group, right? That means it could be a small deer cub or a small deer, a deer kid, right? Similarly, when you go for hunting with the kid, it is very possible that some animal take your kid and eat it. So they stay home with the kids, and the kid would have eaten some fruit, and when it gets its excreta, a tree grows from there accidentally. So women would have observed. That's what they say, because women were staying with the kid at home. They would have been the first farmers. They would have invented the farming. Is the connection there? Okay. That's what. So this lot of space that you need for hunting, and which triggered farming, and then farming enabled dense population, which triggered city formation. Right? How farming can enable dense population? Because with a given land, you can do more food production, more food for given land, given area of land, I would say. Right? So that is very important. That is where hunting is very inefficient, because you to support 100 people for hunting you need hundreds of acres. But to 100 people, if you have 10 acres of land, you can support. Right? If we're using agriculture or farming. So that is what triggers it. And then denser population also triggers overcome hunters and gatherers. Say even if you are a group of hunters, denser if they come and hunt, right? The agriculture society, that particular place may have 100 or 200 people living together. So they will easily come over, or they can take over the hunters and gatherers just by numbers. Okay. So that all triggered that farming, and also the domestication of animals. Now that you have animals, you can use its milk, you can use its, you can breed, right? Breed animals, use byproducts, and kill when needed. Okay. So these are all possible. So they started breeding a lot of cows, sheep, all these things as part of the farming, because the farming's byproduct can be given to cow. Cow can grow whenever you need meat. You can hunt it down, or not hunt actually. You can cut it down and eat. All these things are possible when you have this farming and breeding. Of course, decline of availability of wild food triggered farming. And then domesticable plants and animal triggered farming. And technologies like, you know how to store it now. You take animals technology here, meaning the world style technology, where you can construct a pot, put the food here, or you take the animal's skin, you can store a food and put it there. And also, of course, denser population can overcome hunters and gatherers. So slowly people started settling down. Okay. So these are the major jumps, if you see.
Where was the first settlement? Like started settling, you said, no? Where was it started?
Here, that's what you saw the migration, right?
Yeah. See, okay.
Yeah, around 11,000 years before they have migrated to various places. Agriculture farms, wherever they are, they started settling.
Right. Okay.
And not everybody invented agriculture. Some have invented, some were still doing hunting and gathering, some were applying the technology. All this.
Okay.
Yeah.
During that time, it's unimaginable. Communication also very difficult, no? Like people were just.
No. Hold on, I am coming to that.
Okay.
Okay. So first jump, between 10,000 years, 1 lakh years to 50,000 years before, biological development give rise to speech. So your communication has established already before farming, because humans have a very highly coordinated hunting, right? Not simple like one animal chasing another animal. It's very highly coordinated hunting. That is how some 10 or 15 people together, they can bring down a mammoth. So how do you highly coordinate? That is speech, your language. That's a major jump. It happens. They say that to do this, your biology should be there. Your vocal cord, your mouth shape, size, everything should be ready.
While hunting, they used to give some voices, no? Some sounds.
Exactly. So the biological development should give rise to this speech. And that is what happened around even before 50,000 years before. Okay. And then sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle is, I don't want to run and hunt. It is better to stay in one place. That's a major jump in our society, which is going to trigger a lot specialization. We will come to that later. Currently, I'm just giving a heads up. The specialization is going to happen because of sedentary lifestyle. Okay. So that is, if once you have a sedentary lifestyle, you do not have to produce food for yourself. Somebody is going to, or farming has given you food, and you can specialize in carpentry, pottery, all this house building, all these other things you can specialize. That's when the division of work started coming. Till then, everybody is hunting. Then when it farms, everybody is farming. But farming gives extra food, more than what you can eat. You can store. So you have extra time slowly. You don't have to worry about so many other things. You have extra money or food. Food is assured. You can spend some time in carpentry, pottery, all these activities. Then it forms our, slowly turns into our society where probably before 40,000 years ago, there was no law, police, treaties, etc. Right? Because there is no settled agriculture or settled people. Just people were moving around. There's no land, there's no boundary, nothing. No property to steal from others. When you hunt, when you encounter other groups, they always kill. Groups had to kill in hunter society. Even if we call it society. Okay. But when you become a settled agricultural society, you don't have to kill, capture, and get work from them. Right? That is when slavery comes. So organization were still around 30,000 years before, still they were egalitarian because nothing to share, nothing to store, nothing to worry about who is going to work and all. But after agriculture formation and around 550 or 5500 BC or some 6000 BC or some during that, around that time, slowly chiefdom meaning one guy or some people are the leaders of the society and they get work from others. So that step slowly comes. So social setup, hierarchical social setup has started appearing. Okay. So what does it mean? So society, agriculture society has surplus food and livestock, right? Now the question of who owns it, how to protect it. Okay, now there is a necessity of king arises to protect it. Before that, everybody had to fight. But now somebody is good in carpentering, somebody is good in farming. So you need somebody to fight. So, and then there is this chiefdom, chief of this society. They slowly take some money or remuneration in order to protect people. This is a full-time protector they become full-time protectors, full-time hunters, full-time warriors. So the chief transforms into king. It's also a one-step evolution process. Because of that full-time warrior kind of people needed to support the settled agriculture, especially to support or store and save, protect food and livestock. That becomes property now. Right? That becomes property. Property of the individuals or that community. So initially from whom they are started saving this, from whom they are protecting, there were always some still are hunters and gatherers. Even hunters and gatherers are living now, right? In Andaman Nicobar Islands, the Australian Aborigines and all, they are still in hunting and gathering. But if they come, we have to protect ourselves. So the king is taking a full-time job. The small chiefs of the society, they transform themselves into king and they support they were receiving small supports, but then that becomes tax, which is a compulsory thing you have to pay. So state gets formed, organized wars emerges. Organized wars emerges because slowly farming, surplus food, protecting it, king and army arises, and that means now we have a state which takes care of the current state that we have, that is law, police, other things, right? Then, of course, once the state formed, they don't have anything else to do, they have to do war. We'll come to that later. But society forms, organized state forms because of these activities. This is a logical step, of course. That's what we have seen so far. So I took most of the things from these books. Ascent of Man by Jacob Bronowski, Guns, Gems and Steel by Jared Diamond, and The Beginnings by Debbie Prasad Chattopadhyaya. And of course, a lot of reading materials there in the website, different websites. So we will see further into how the state takes forms, different farming are stated, further refinements of agriculture, and how the states move forward, right? We will take this in next section. Questions so far? Are you all hearing me?
Yes, Balaji, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, audible.
Okay. Suddenly completely silent. Okay. So you get this logical steps, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. So next session we will have more into this how that family were there in the initial days. So it was living in band. Then slowly it was becoming groups of organize themselves as a group of 200, 100 people living in a village. And then the family, the whole group is having kids, and then kids do not know which father or which mother it belongs to. The whole community takes care of. Of course, mothers, they will know, but the whole community were taking care of the kids. And then slowly it was into independent family and nuclear family like us now. That's all again follows through the process of various steps. You will see the group family even now in some places. Yeah, so that's how the family also transformed. Then they form religion. While doing all these things, there was one major step that we didn't see is religion. Religion was a important step by humans, which is not there in any other species, which was formed, and then they it's a major, what to say, a thought process, like a speech, right? It gave a human thought process, something to cling to whenever there's a crisis of survival and all. And then yeah, religion and then state. All these things were not, of course, they're all part of this integrated development. We will especially see family, religion, and the progress of state in the next class.
Balaji, one question on the other than sapiens, there were other human beings were there, am I right? So
Yes.
are there any traces of them now currently, or it's why they disappeared and why only sapiens could survive actually? What would be the reason?
That's not Guru. In that, if you see here, when we migrated, Neanderthal has completely moved away
Okay.
from Africa to Europe long before humans migrate. I mean, Homo sapiens migrate.
Mhm.
So when we moved to Europe, the Neanderthals were there already.
Okay.
So we went and then we probably have interbreeding with them
Hmm.
and merged this into humans.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. There is another very close to humans. Remember the name? Denovasian or something. Neanderthals and Denovasians are very close to humans, lived side by side. Denovasian, I don't. Let me see. Okay, I will get the name, Guru. But
Okay.
there is another very close companion. That's what this book talks about, at least. The third chimpanzee by Jared Diamond. It talks about Neanderthal, that other species, another one, and Homo sapiens. All these things have lived together, and how Homo sapiens took over. I will get the details probably in next class.
Okay.
But Neanderthal we know for sure because it was there some time back and it got assimilated into humans, Homo sapiens, and then it probably because of intra-breeding and all, it would have vanished away. See, one important thing humans did is they started avoiding this inbreeding. Continuously, the inbreeding is a major cause for getting a substandard species. That means if you are marrying with a very close relative, you will get there's a possibility of defected child, right? We still say that it's a very known genetically transferable possibility is there. Humans, there's a major step that they did. Women in human species, they slowly stopped this inbreeding. Okay, but probably this other Homo erectus, probably didn't do it. That could have caused that could have been one reason for them to extinct. But Neanderthals we know, the other Homo erectus I will get.
Okay. Okay, Balaji.
Any other question?
சார் என்னோட புரிதலுக்காக
ம்.
ஒவ்வொரு விஷயம் நடந்துட்டு இருந்ததுல அதுக்கெல்லாம் டைம் கேப்ஸ் வந்து இந்த 1000 வருஷம் அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருந்ததா அப்போ?
ஆமா.
ஏன்னா இப்போ வந்து 100 இயர்ஸ் 50 இயர்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி ஷார்ட் ஆயிட்டு வந்துச்சு இல்லையா?
No. It still it is there. இப்பயும் வந்து நீ 1000 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி என்னாச்சு 5000 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி, எஸ் யூ ஆர் ரைட். நவ் த சேஞ்சஸ் ஆர் வெரி குயிக். கரெக்ட், நீ சொல்றது கரெக்ட். இப்போ வந்து சேஞ்ச் ரொம்ப குயிக்கா நடக்குது. பட் தட் இஸ் ஒன்லி சோஷியல் சேஞ்ச். வாட் யூ ஆர் சீயிங் இஸ் சோஷியல் சேஞ்ச்.
ஓகே.
யுவர் பயாலஜிக்கல் சேஞ்ச், இந்த பயாலஜிக்கல் சேஞ்ச் அப்பியரன்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, appearance that came 1 million years ago. We have not changed from then.
Okay.
After that, we are still changing. We may still change in another 1 million years. We may be different appearance. Evolution is continuing. Okay, but after that, lot of change happens, which is social change. You have to split and see. Biological change is very long time. Social changes are quickly happening.
Okay, sir.
11,000 years before agriculture started, but then it continued and then we are now have all food we need, and then we can keep on going producing food. We are occupying space. And now if you see, just 100 years before, there was no cell phone technology or satellite TV or nothing. Now we have so many things. So it was faster. As the technology develops, it goes faster. So we will see all those things in coming classes.
ஓகே சார், இன்னும் ஒன் கொஸ்டின் சார்.
Yeah.
இதுக்கு ரிலேட்டட் தான். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து இந்த ஹியூமன் பயாலஜிக்கலா வந்து இப்ப இந்த இன்ஃபர்டிலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் வரும்ல, சோ இப்போ வந்து எவ்வளவு குயிக்கா வந்து அது டெஸ்ட் பேபி வரைக்கும் போகுது இல்லையா சார், இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப சீக்கிரமா ரிசல்ட் கிடைக்குதோன்னு தோணுச்சு சார்.
ஓகே, இல்ல 10 மாசம் இருந்துதானே ஆகணும்.
அது இருந்துதான் சார் ஆகணும். நான் அது சொல்ல, இதே ஒரு 100 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்ன இன்ஃபர்டிலிட்டிஸ் அந்த மாதிரி வந்தாக்கா இந்த டெஸ்ட் பேபி அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் இருந்துச்சா இல்லையான்றது ஒரு கேள்வி.
Okay, good question. So infertility was not addressed like test tube babies today, but infertilities were not much like now in 100 years or 1000 years before, because a women's primary responsibility at that time to breed. Because if you have 10 children, 5 would die easily. Yeah, it is possible. 5 would die. Even if you see your grandparents, they would have said that for 2 kids we had 1 or 5 kids we had 2 died, only you 3 are remaining. Right? My father and my mother also had 3 kids. Now only my son and my sister are there because 1 kid died. That was a possibility because of various things like there was no proper nursing, proper medication, proper food itself. All these things were there. But so women has to breed because they will think that, okay, at least 4 are there. If I give birth to 4, 2 may remain. That was the calculation. But now, slowly the nature itself or women itself, the women themselves, they say that, okay, we have all things we need. If I give birth to 1 kid, that 1 kid is going to survive. We know for sure, right? So obviously they slow down. They slow down the birth. They slow down giving birth, right? So that is why they are coming. And the infertility has so many other reasons also. Because of the lifestyle, we pollute a lot of not healthy air, and we don't have a lot of biological, physical activities, right? So all these things are there. That's a separate thing. But in the olden days, infertility was not a problem because they were giving birth to a lot of people, a lot of kids. Survival need, that was. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
One question there. So, Balaji, so when we have this continental drifts that happened, right? The map as we see it happened over a long period of time, right? So whatever we covered here had impact over that as well, is it? Or it was all after, like, it was all stable?
No. This migration is only 2 lakhs years before we are talking about, right? Started 2 lakhs years before.
Yeah.
Already continents are separate by the time.
Okay, Balaji.
Continent separation, it goes on for millions of years. Okay. So it has happened much before that.
Understood, Balaji. Yeah, thanks.
One possibility is, that's why they say Madagascar is a major this thing, right? Somehow the species here in Africa and in Madagascar are completely different because some of the species were there and this one moved out and it started independently evolving without mixing up the closest species from here. So what they say is, because that though they were close, this has a complete independent evolution it went through, because it separated long time back. So that's a complete, I mean, that scale is completely different than human migration. That was huge, long time before.
Got it, Balaji. Yeah.
Hope we come to the end. It's already 8 o'clock. Thanks for your patience. If you have any other questions, we can put it in the group also, and we can chat. Okay. Have a nice rest of the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Balaji.
Thank
The
you.
session will be
Thank you,
recorded and
Balaji.
kept in the. We can look at the recorded lesson later on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.